I'm so excited. Our podcast title for today is The Rise of the Sensual Serpent with the absolutely beautiful Deva Wild. Embodied grace and devotional living, the body as temple, where breath becomes prayer and the body remembers its sacred rhythm. Welcome, luminous ones. Today's guest is someone whose work has long danced through sacred circles and intimate initiations until now. I'm honoured, deeply honoured actually, to welcome Deva Wild, a priestess of alchemy, a soul mentor and embodiment guide whose teachings awaken the sacred, the sensual and devotional essence of life. Deva's work is rooted in vitality, bliss, and sacred truth. She guides women to embody their power, soften into love, and live in deep reverence for the body as temple. Through her Sensual Serpents teacher training and soul mentoring journeys, she opens portals of transformation where every sacred breath becomes a return to the sacred. I feel really deeply honoured and very blessed. This is her first ever podcast appearance, a moment that feels exciting, rightful, and deeply aligned. Let's dive into the magic of Deva Wild. Yay. Hello, my beautiful sister. How are you today?
Hello, darling. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast today. I feel incredible and amazing, and I feel very blessed and honoured to be here.
I have to say, I've experienced your medicine in the flesh, and it was absolutely transformative, life-changing, and I absolutely adore your work and everything you do. So I'm so excited to dive deep into these questions for you, my love. So here we go. What does devotional living mean to you, and how does it show up in your everyday life?
Thank you, sweetheart. So for me personally, it's how I honour the sacred within all of life. So it's a way of being that keeps me close to spirit, to love, and to truth. And for me, it's a lived, embodied, cellular experience to meet life as a ceremony, even when there's difficulties, even when there's rupture, and to return again and again to our sacred bodies, which holds the altar of truth. So rather than escaping or bypassing, we come home to the body ourselves. And we transmute pain into nectar, shadow into wisdom, and chaos into creative power. And it's a remembrance of the ancient ways and to anchor them into modern day living, modern day life, in every breath, in every gesture, and every offering. And how this shows up for me is the way that I treat my work as an initiation rather than a business. In everything that I do, everything that I create, every retreat, every ceremony, every one-to-one private mentoring journey, it's built with energetic integrity. And it's the
Beautiful.
way that I honour the reverence for the unseen, where I speak to the land, I speak to the caves here in Ibiza, I speak to the water, I speak to someone that I know. And it's the way that I choose beauty as a frequency.
Wow. I just got spidey sense, goosebumps, that beautiful serpent rising, the Kundalini rising as you spoke. Words are just, they're beautiful openings. And the way you described that felt like an activation. So illuminating. Thank you for that.
Thank you,
You've
darling.
yes, you've this is your first ever podcast after
Mm.
years of invitations And I know you do the deepest, most sacred work. So, what made this moment feel like a yes for you?
Yeah, thank you, darling. There's, excuse me, there's actually layers to this question. And the first one was because it was you. And I feel you and I honor and respect the work that you do. There is also a deeply woven connection to Australia. It's where I lived for 2 years. The
Yes.
land there activated and woke, I would say, my leader. It woke my leader, my facilitator, and the act of service within my soul. It stirred it, it woke me up. The ancient wisdom and medicine of the land woke my ancient medicine up. So I felt your offering of inviting me in with you connected to the lands there. There was an alignment and a yes in my system, which, yeah, it felt rightful. It was like, it was a soul, yes, this is time. There was also, I've just started working and co-creating with another incredible, beautiful woman called Josie. And she created something called Rebellious Essence.
Oh, wow.
And
What a great
it's
name.
absolutely out of this world magic. And we co-created a retreat where she brought lots of facilitators from around the globe together. And whilst I was in that retreat space, facilitating and receiving, my soul was shining brightly, saying, be brave, be bold, let the world see your medicine, let the world see your gifts. And as I came out of the retreat, your email came through.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
Divine
be
timing.
bold. Oh, divine timing.
And
Be
even your
bold.
retreat, Deva, your retreat, I've been following you, as you know. I adore everything you do. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I have to get to one of those magnificent retreats. It looked just
Honestly,
incredible.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Rebellious Essence, which
Rebellious
Josie
essence. Yeah.
runs. Yeah, Rebellious Essence, which Josie runs, is she'll be doing that around the world. And then I do the retreats once a year here in Ibiza, and
Yes.
also included in the teacher training now. So facilitators can come from around the globe together to facilitate to one another, to
Wow.
initiate the confidence so that they can
Wow.
go
That's
back to
great.
their communities.
Oh, I love that collaboration, that
There's, li-
co-creative space of
there's
coming together as
layers.
leaders of, love, just I love that. That's amazing. Can you share the origin story of Sensual Serpents and what this journey has meant for you and for
Mhm.
your first initiates?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, darling. So, Sensual Serpents has been something that's been birthing in my body and in my womb for many, many years. And it feels like it's a merging of my life experiences and my life's trainings, teachings, like travels, like all the people I've ever met, all the people I've ever sat with, all the people I've trained with, all of the wisdom and the knowledge woven together has come to form Sensual Serpent. So, Sensual Serpents is a sacred embodiment and sensual dance training that guides women through the chakras to awaken Shakti, to liberate their energy, and to become radiant, grounded leaders who embody love, truth, and devotion. So it's a merging of all of my life's work, all of my life experiences, from deep personal experiences within relationships to reclaiming my pure sensual, erotic energy and my healing journey. So we learn through relationships with ourselves, with our partners, with life, and they shape us. And when I brought my human life and embodied more of my spiritual nature, everything changed for me. And was the time that I felt was right to support leaders to hold these sacred keys of sensual serpents and to hold safe, sacred space for their communities. So I birthed a process that they can guide others through.
Once again, tingles of absolute delight. Oh, yeah, so beautiful. The same way you feel a deep resonance with our sacred land here in Australia, I absolutely love where you're currently living. And I have a real connection to, the Oracle of Delphi, Apollo, that beautiful kind of the ancient temples of the Mediterranean. And I've always really resonated with everything you do. But the way you described that beautiful soulful offering, that invitation is just, yeah, so sacred, so wild, and so wonderful. Like, yay. Loved it so much. Um, how do you define embodied leadership and what does it look like in practice?
Mm. So embodied leadership for me is around attunement and sensitivity and deep embodied awareness. So it's a deep listening through mastery, through wisdom, and through experience. And it's leading from our center, from your center, from my center. It's leading with love. And it's understanding that all of life holds wisdom. And it's allowing the wisdom of the body to guide us, to hold space for us, to speak to us, and to serve us. So it's leadership that's cyclical, sensual, and it's
Yeah.
rooted in truth. And in practice, it can look as simple as pausing
Yes.
before we speak, breathing before we decide,
Wow. Yeah.
and leading through deep listening and compassion. So for me, it's about attunement to yourself, to others, and to all of life. It's about being in connection to the sacred. It's about being so deeply rooted in your body that you're moving with love.
So beautiful. Creating a space. That's where the real gorgeous juice is, right?
And it's slowing down.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're moving so fast that
Yes.
we can't hear or connect to the deeper wisdom. So it
There's so
takes
much clutter.
discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It takes
Yeah.
discipline and devotion to create space in the body, space in the mind, so that we can listen to something that's beyond programming, beyond habitual patterns. So it's a sensing, it's an attunement, it's a refinement.
Beautiful. How do you define embodied leadership and what does it look like in practice? You might want to explain somatic, beautiful practice as well to the listeners because I've experienced your beautiful programs. So yeah, tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a little bit about what I just spoke to there about
Yeah.
embodied leadership,
Yes.
and also the somatic sense of attuning our systems is the deep listening. So
Yes.
it's about really deeply listening to the body, to sensations. And when we speak about somatic practices,
Yes.
it's like, sometimes people wonder like, what is that? And
Yes.
and and that's
I
about,
simply do. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But and that's the attunement piece to what we're feeling in the body, not what we're thinking about. It's about
Yes.
what we're feeling in the body. Where's it located? What's the sense of it? What's the energy of it? What's the texture of it? So it's getting deeper and deeper into the layers of the body. And the way that I bring that into practices is through breath, through movement, through sound.
Yes.
There's lots
Yeah.
of different ways that we can access ourselves and come back to the body. And there's also a difference between, because let's just say some of your listeners or people that might hear this podcast, say that their bodies are activated in trauma or trigger
Yeah.
and that they're dysregulated.
Yes.
There is a very different attunement to listening to the body in trigger and trauma than there is listening to the intuitive, deep, ancient wisdom and the truthfulness of the body. They are very different, and it does take refinement and attunement to know the
Yes.
difference. But we we can tell if we're in an activated state or we're in a regulated state. So
Yeah. Good.
we have to be very careful, because, if we are triggered or activated and the body is telling us distruths, it's
Yes.
not something to follow. It's like, wait
Yes.
until your body is regulated, until there's a sense of ease and connection, until
Yeah.
the breath slows down, so that you can really feel the connection to the truth, not the distortion. So we have to
Yes.
remember here, it's not always, the body's not always telling the truth, depending on where you are in your life
Yeah.
experiences, and your traumas. So I just want to make that distinction.
I'm really glad you did. Really, really beautiful the way you explained that. Listening to the wisdom of the body, um, and also recognizing the difference between that trauma trigger and that deep sacred wisdom, yeah, the body is an amazing, beautiful temple. I just love the way you explained that. So
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
it comes from personal experience as
Yeah.
well. Is I've experienced both sides, and I think many of us have on the journey of life and the initiation of life. There's times that we have distortion in our systems and that we think it's true.
Yeah.
So the first thing for me is to do practices that regulate and calm your nervous
To
system.
regulate the calming the system. Yeah. So powerful. Yeah. And
Yeah.
all that, crazy conditioning and programming from, the wider world, we're just bombarded, aren't we? And to, peel back all of that conditioning and just really go deeper. Um, it's amazing. So what's the difference between performing sensuality? I know this is a weird thing to say, but I've been in this space for a very long time and I've seen kind of, different forms of different things. So what's the difference between performing sensuality and living it as a sacred expression, Deva?
Mhm. Yeah, thank you. It's a really important point, this as well. And yeah, thank you for allowing me to speak to this here. So performance seeks validation.
Yeah.
It's looking outside of itself. It's seeking validation. Sacred expression seeks connection.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, there's a difference here between being embodied, like being so deeply rooted and connected to yourself. And when so let's say that we're dancing sensuality and eros, it's a way of feeling and attuning to the body, where the body leads, where if we're performing, our eyes are open, we're looking out, and we're, maybe embodying the temptress, seeking it from outside of ourselves, where what I guide and what I lead, it comes from connection, it comes from embodiment. So when we perform sensuality, it's coming from a need to be seen. But
Yes.
when we live sensuality, it's an offering. It's how Shakti moves through us. So it
Yes.
can be wild, it can be messy, it can be tender. It's less about how we look and more about how we feel.
Oh, I love that. Less about how we look and more about how we actually feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So amazing. Yeah. Now, you've lived in this glorious Ibiza for 5 years now. How has the island shaped your work, your beautiful rhythm, your medicine, your magic. Yeah?
So, wow. I'd never been to Ibiza before I moved here. So that was a sacred knowing, and also leadership from my partner, having this knowing that this is where we were meant to rest and build our lives. Gosh, Ibiza, thank you. Thank you for my life. Thank you for the community. Thank you for all that's been created for me since I've rested on these sacred lands. So she is an initiation in herself. The lands here are so potent. The land rests on crystals, and I know from my land where I live,
Really?
yeah, where I live in the
Yeah.
mountains, in the rocks, there's quartz crystals running all the way through the rocks, like the walls around the
Beautiful.
house. So
Yeah.
we're surrounded and resting on quartz crystals. And there's also myths and legends that Esvedra is sat on rose quartz or quartz crystal. So
Yes.
there's so many layers to the land, and I really hope that I can share deeply my felt sense of Ibiza. So this island, she activates what you bring to her.
Interesting.
So whatever you're feeling, whatever you're channeling, whatever you're moving through, she amplifies it.
Right.
So she says, be responsible for what you bring here, because
Oh,
I
how
will
good
give
is
you more.
that? Yeah. So she'll
I
bring it
will
to the
give you more.
surface so that you have to, deal with it. Yeah.
She
Yeah.
brings everything to the surface, but she amplifies what's already there.
Okay.
So say that you're wanting to birth something. So I came here, with sensual serpents in my womb. Whoo, she amplifies it. She
Fabulous
brings
name,
it to
by
the,
the way,
oh my
Deva.
gosh.
Oh my God. So good. So great. Because I'm
Thank
a
you.
wordsmith. So to me, words are portals and words have power.
Definitely.
And sensual serpents is just so powerful. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you, darling. Thank you so much. And yes, she amplifies it, she feeds it, she nourishes it. And it's the same if you're going through like a dark night of the soul. She amplifies that also. So
Yeah.
it's not all light. There's
No.
definitely a balance here on this island, but what she asks of you is to surrender, because you
Wow.
can't
Okay.
control her rhythms. The land here is ancient. The energy is fierce and beautiful and feminine, and there's a rawness here that strips away any pretense.
Amazing.
I also want to share a little bit about, so there's two areas that I feel when I speak to Ibiza that I deeply have to honor, because now I feel that I am also a
Part of
guardian
it now.
of,
A
yeah, and
guardian. Yeah.
I'm a guardian of her, and she's a guardian of
Yeah.
me, and
That's
and
right.
I need to be in right relationship with her at all times. So when people ask me about Ibiza, I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours, because I'm so passionate and in love with her. So on
Because
this
she's an
island,
island, isn't she?
she's an
She's an island.
island. She's a small island, and she has powerful gods and goddesses protecting her. So I want to speak to Goddess Tanit, and I also want to speak to Esvedra, because they are linked. Esvedra is a magnetic rock in the ocean. So when we're on the island here, you can go to a viewpoint, and Esvedra is a majestic, magnificent rock that protrudes out of the ocean. And it has its own magnetic field, and it's the third most magnetic place in the entire world.
Wow.
So the first one is the North Pole.
Yes.
The second one is the Bermuda Triangle.
Yes.
And the third one is Esvedra. So you can, like, people from all
I'm
over the world.
absolutely fascinated because I love sacred sites. It's something that's always calls to me.
She's Esvedra emanates a powerful magnetic field, so she creates a vortex. And there's
Yes.
myths that speak of it as a siren stone, a
Yes.
portal point, a
Yeah.
beacon of feminine energy, and
Wow.
ancient Lemurian frequencies.
Oh,
So
magnificent.
it's powerful, it's potent. People travel from all over the world to offer their prayers to this rock. And then there's also some magical caves in the north of the island,
Oh, is there?
which is a temple for Goddess Tanit. So Goddess Tanit is the serpent mother of Ibiza.
Oh, is she
And
really?
yes, and she is a guardian of fertility, of death, of sensuality, of
Yes.
ecstatic rites. She's linked to the
Yes.
moon, the serpent, the womb, and the underworld.
Oh, wow.
So
Right up my
people
alley.
come to her temple to pray, to offer their blessings to her, to ask for guidance. Um, So yeah, it doesn't feel right for me not to honor her and Esvedra. And there's also a god of this island called Bez. I'm still getting to know Bez. He's more of a wild guardian of ecstasy and protection. And he was worshipped here and still is worshipped here like many gods. He's not noble. He's wild and playful and fierce.
Like a
And
beeper, right?
yeah, exactly,
There's
exactly,
a side to a beeper, which is playful and, mischievous and
exactly that.
inquisitive and a
And
bit naughty,
hedonistic.
but isn't that
Yeah,
wonderful? Yeah.
yeah, it's the hedonism here.
Yes.
And that's where it feels like, you have the Bez energy, the masculine, the playfulness, the laughter, the dance, and then you have Goddess Tanit, which is like the sensuality, the eros, the dance, the fertility. And then you think Ibiza, people come from all over the world
They
to
do.
dance on
And
this
they've probably been
magical
doing that
island.
forever, for eons and eons and eons, right? Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes.
love that. I went to Cyprus and I went to Paphos, where Aphrodite's grotto. You go up into the hill and there's this beautiful Aphrodite's grotto, and there's also a very similar setup where there's this stunning big rock in the ocean where you can swim around it, and apparently it's it felt sacred to me, like Aphrodite's rock. Um, so as you were explaining that, it's just interesting, the synchronicities of all those beautiful kind of sacred sites are all interconnected, and love that so much.
Yeah, and I feel like, every place, every island, every part of this world has gods and goddesses as
Yes,
guardians and protectors.
that's right.
Every
Yeah.
every island, and it's so beautiful that I can share stories of Ibiza, you can share stories. You know, I've been to Australia and been able to honor the lineage of the land there. It's like
Yes.
they are there waiting to be
I
honored,
get
and
it.
it's so beautiful that
Yeah.
people can illuminate what's here.
So beautiful. So I love the way you explain right relationships. I'm going to ask you a question. What does it mean to be in a right relationship with life? And how do we return to
Mm,
that when we feel disconnected, Deva? Yeah.
hmm. Yeah. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. So, to be in right relationship with life is to live in connection to it. So, it's to be in connection to the lands, it's to be in connection to yourself. And, you know, disconnection is a rightful rhythm. It's part of our human experiences. At times, we will feel disconnected.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I think sometimes we can feel that there's something wrong if we're disconnected. It's
Yeah.
about, you know, honoring that all of life is sacred. And if we are feeling disconnected, there's usually deeper wisdom there
Yeah.
asking us to listen. So disconnection and connection serve their purpose.
Right.
And for me, in
Clarity.
those, yeah, it's important, isn't it, not to make things like right or wrong, not to
Right or
label
wrong, good or
things.
bad. Sometimes they're
Exactly.
just night or day, summer, winter, yin, yang, that beautiful sacred
Exactly.
union, the sacred balance, the duality, the polarity. It's to to ignore one is just it's just not going to work because we need the shadow, we need the light, right? So
We
yeah,
do, we do. And it's again, this is about honoring the
yeah,
natural rhythms of life, the natural rhythms within. And I
birth
know
and
that
death.
it can feel really uncomfortable to feel disconnected. It can feel really uncomfortable. And there's ways of finding connection in the disconnection.
Yeah.
Surrendering to what's there. And for me, it's about honoring where you are in your life cycles. And again, slowing down, coming back to the body, breathing into yourself, and asking some deeper questions about what this disconnection is revealing to you. There's guidance
Yes.
there, there's wisdom there if we can
Yes.
listen.
Yes. I love the way this beautiful thread of the listening, right? That beautiful listening. Yeah, love that so much.
And there's wisdom, there's many layers of wisdom. So it's listening to the body's wisdom, and we can also ask spirit for guidance
Yeah.
to show us, to reveal to us why this is here, what this is revealing to me. And
Yes.
it's that divine surrender. We have guardians, we have guides, we have spirits around us, we have deep, deep wisdom within us. So it's about remembering that in those moments of disconnection or feeling uncomfortable, we're not alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. I love that. Sometimes I know in a lot of shamanic cultures, the crumble or the breakdown is really that opportunity to have that incredible shift and break through as well. It's that
Mm.
sometimes it needs to fall apart so that you can put it back together in a beautiful new kind of way as well. So, how do you guide women to awaken their Shakti in a way that feels safe,
Mm.
sovereign, and sacred, my love?
I just got a little image there of when we were dancing together and awakening your Shakti and the Shakti of life. And
Yeah.
that was a really beautiful image of,
So
of
beautiful.
feeling, yeah, of feeling
Yes.
you in that motion
Yeah.
of Shakti.
Yeah.
So deep
Yeah.
and beautiful. So for people that are new to me or my offerings, I go slowly with attunement, with love, with care, with
Yes.
grace. And
Yes.
I speak to all the women who enter my containers, whether it be in an email, over the phone, whether we have a one-to-one, so I can understand them and their journey. So I can then more deeply attune and feel the pace that's needed for the women. And then we decide, because like we've spoken before,
Yeah.
people will bring in their past into the spaces.
Yeah, they do.
So
Yeah.
that it
Yeah.
needs to be held, with
Yeah.
love and with care. So there is a sense of safety. And, you know, I will offer the most beautiful and safest spaces that I can to hold women in journeying to their depths. And it's not always pleasant. It's not always pretty. We have to go back to reclaim certain parts of ourselves and certain versions of ourselves. And that can bring up anger and rage before the Shakti can come. We have to do like the flames of purification. We need to clean the system. We need to attune the system. So before we touch ecstasy or bliss, It's about deeply grounding and rooting into the body.
Yes.
So I create containers that honor the body's pace and the nervous system.
Yeah.
And then we gently awaken the Shakti through different embodiment postures, through different dance movements of tracing symbolism into the body, of invoking prayer. And we decide the pace, the comfort level, your edges, your readiness. And, you know, Shakti is a very beautiful and powerful force that will cleanse and burn and shed all that's in its way. So it asks that the women that step forth are ready for this level of initiation,
Yeah.
which I feel that many women are. They don't want to live in the
Want to live in
discomfort.
that. They don't want
They
to
don't
live
want
in
to
that,
live, no, the
that
pain, the
feeling of
discomfort.
feeling trapped in trauma, or
Exactly, exactly. There's a sense
yeah.
now of like, let's liberate this.
There's something
It's
very
time.
liberating. That's the word I got too. That liberating feeling of opening to, pure pleasure, or just, opening to the sacredness of that sensual expression, or whatever it might be, like, yeah, yeah, I
Exactly,
love it.
exactly. And
Yeah.
there's also like when we think about Shakti as
Yes.
sensual, erotic energy, it's our life force. It's our radiance, it's our magnetism, it's how we birth our life, our creations, our work. It's how we embody our gifts. It's like who would want to live with that like tamed, tampered down?
No, no,
So
no.
yeah, liberation feels rightful.
Liberation, and when you liberate yourself, you create that ripple effect, that osmosis through the sacred feminine all over the planet, right? So, there's something incredibly transformative and healing, um, you know, yeah, that those beautiful portals. I love that so, so much. That's so incredible. And I can say from personal experience that you do create that beautiful, safe container, and you do feel held, and there's something so cyclic and flowy and just, yeah, beautiful about it. So love that so much.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that as well
Yeah,
that, you know, when we embody this energy, we become walking permission granters for other women to embody
yeah,
their sensuality.
yeah.
And it's also how people embody it and live it is so unique and different. So it's about connecting to the natural rhythms of your
I love that so
sensuality
much.
and your eros. It's not about being the double or the copy of
Stereotype.
someone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have an like a natural essence to be in our own eros and sensuality, and it's about invoking that naturalness within you.
Wow. Never heard it explained quite that way. So amazing. If your body could speak as the oracle, what would she say today? What needs to be said?
Mm. Gosh, so many things that she could
The
say.
big one, I know. Yeah.
Mm. One thing that comes up for me over and over again is trust. Trust your rhythm, trust your breath, trust your pain. Keep softening, keep opening.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Love that. So, love, to finish up our beautiful conversation today, I thought I'd pull a oracle card from my Moon Temple Oracle deck. And of course, it's totally appropriate. You can't make this up. It's number 25. It's the sensuality card. And it's beautiful, goddess Anana. And the words are, I open all my senses to fully experience sacredness in the flesh.
Mm.
Soften, open, enjoy. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read this little part here. The sacred is not outside of you, but found within you. It is through your precious body temple that you commune with the divine. When you deliberately open your physical senses, your psychic abilities are heightened. Your body is a conduit for spirit. Your sensuality is the heartbeat of the divine, pulsating within you, all around you, and radiating from you.
Oh my goodness. Wow. It's so interesting that you pulled that card. Like, because as you spoke about the oracle speaking, there was something about the eros that wanted to move through me. And I spoke to
Yes.
trust first. Then
Yes.
you spoke to sensuality. And there's just one more thing I want to share, if
Oh, you
that's
have to
okay.
say it. Yeah.
There is an erotic current inside each and every one of us. A sacred flame burning with life and with light, dripping in joy, bliss, and the nectar of life, which holds your gifts, your medicine, and is woven so deeply inside of you. Be bold, be brave, and give yourself permission to express the truth of your soul.
So may it be. Beautifully said. That felt like an invitation, an invocation, a magnificent activation. Thank you, my love. So beautiful. So please, please, please look up the most amazing Deva Wild, the priestess of alchemy. She's a soul mentor, an embodiment guide, and her work has long rippled through intimate communities in Australia, in Ibiza and the UK, like this underground river of initiation. Thank you so much for coming on Ask the Oracle. I love and adore your work. And yay, I just feel so blessed. Thank you, my love.
Thank you, darling.